Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Not a business trips. Need support. I have posted this before and deleted it. Things have changed since my original post. This all started a year ago in March of 2021. My wife got promoted and went on her first business trip. The company has an office in Las Vegas. Her trip was with the owner of the company and a few other people. On the very last night of the trip is when things got weird. It was around 11 p.m. Las Vegas time and she finally called to say she was going to bed. My gut was telling me something was up because she never called to tell our kids good night, which is not normal. I told her to call me back when she was all ready for bed and actually in bed. When she called me about 15 minutes later, I decided to get all cutesy and flip the phone to video chat. The second I did that, I realized she was not going to bed. She still had her hair all done, makeup on, etc. I asked her if she was really going to bed. She pretended to be offended and she hung up on me. The next morning she pretended like nothing had happened. She came home that same day as well. The following week my gut was on fire. I knew something was up but hadn't made any moves to verify my suspicions. A week later I woke up and decided to go through her phone. Sure enough, I scrolled back to the night she hung up on me and she had deleted texts from him asking where she was after she hung up on me. 2 hours later he texts her and says, "You're fun." She said, "You have no idea." I immediately lost my mind and approached her about the texts, why she was deleting them, etc. She denied anything happened. The issue was they had planned another trip down there the following week to clear up matters that were at the office down there. I objected to that and said she was not going. Her argument was nothing happened between them, she was sorry for lying but needed to go for her job. She was going and there wasn't much to do about it. Yes, I became a doormat at this moment. Fast forward to the day she was leaving for the second trip, they started up again with their texts. When I went through her phone, I copied all the saved passwords in an app she has so I could see her texts in her Verizon account. He messaged her and said, "I am dying to hear how you pulled this trip off." She responds, "I am on my best behavior, that's how." He then says to her, "I am curious to see what your best behavior looks like." She responds and says, "I told you I wear the pants." Again I lost my mind and told her to have fun on her trip and I was out. Fast forward to this last month. We have been attempting to reconcile over the last year. In March of this year she took a polygraph and passed. All questions were in regards to her having any type of sexual contact with him. 2 weeks after the polygraph she went on another business trip with this man. This time I had a buddy who works in the intel industry with me follow her. The very first night there she is semi-drunk after going out to dinner with him and a few other business associates. My buddy gets on the elevator and follows them to their room. She says to him prior to entering her room, "I am going to call my husband then knock on your door." So my buddy waited outside the door for her to come out. This is when we realized they had conjoined suites in the Encore Towers. I immediately called her and asked where his room was. She finally admitted it was attached to hers and would change her room the following day. From there I did not talk to her very much the following day. I was furious. The following night my buddy again follows them up to the room at the end of the night. She is drunk again. Says as she is entering her room, "I will have my titties out in 2 minutes for free." I completely lost it this time. I called her and said I would pack her stuff for her. I then proceeded to call him and advised him to call his wife to let her know what was going down and that I would be calling her in the morning. Of course my wife is saying nothing happened. My assumptions are opposite. As of right now she is taking another polygraph to prove she did nothing. My mind is in this weird numb state of not really caring about anything. Posts like this one bring back the memories of believing my wife was cheating on me but not having solid proof. The months of that, until I found out for certain, were tortuous, devastating. Harder I think than the actual revelation. I must have some level of PTSD because I'm sitting here shaking and finding it hard to catch my breath, and for me, all of that happened 17 years ago. My heart goes out to you, brother. No one should have to go through what you're going through. Edit, as a part of my bachelor's degree I wrote a paper which was the result of a year of secondary research. The paper was about the science behind the detection of deception, so of course some of the paper was devoted to the polygraph. You should know that the very best polygraph operators do about as well as flipping a coin in their detection of a lying subject. Don't waste your money on a polygraph examination. Look for other ways to find the truth. Yes, I have no solid proof. It all looks really bad and she admits to saying stupid things. She also wants to go to therapy and all that, but even if nothing physical happened, the lying and deception are not a marriage therapy issue. You're correct. A normal well-adjusted person who found themselves in this situation the first time, and who spent the last year reconciling, would go out of their way to not resume the exact same behaviors that landed them in this mess in the first place. And to be clear, adults don't get adjoining rooms, get drunk together, talk about having titties out, and not be ducking each other. No matter how much she denies it. It's just not the logical scenario. I guess I should clarify. She was the only one drinking, which I had confirmed. He doesn't drink because his wife was an alcoholic. None of what is going on between them is normal. Everything points to more. Honestly, it doesn't matter if either of them was drinking or not. But she was, which likely lowered her inhibitions. But, as an adult, if a woman told you she was about to have her titties out while sharing a shared hotel room with you, what would you think? She has to quit her job, go strict North Carolina starting immediately, and give you all passwords to all devices and socials. Anything less than that is a deal breaker. You've been through reconciliation once already. You've got to have a firmer line and stricter boundaries this time, because whatever you did last time wasn't enough to keep her honest or respectful of you. Not your fault, but you've got to put your foot down. Personally, I'd even have separation/divorce papers drawn up. Maybe not to use right away, but to show her how serious I am about everything. Create space too. Make her sleep in the spare room while you spend less time at home. She's got to see that you're literally one breath away from walking out of the marriage and moving on with your life. I agree with this. Talking about it is easy. Going through with all of it is what I am struggling with. Yeah man, I totally get it, but taking this hardline approach has multiple benefits. 1, it'll get your point and seriousness across to her because she still hasn't changed her behavior. Secondly, by taking control of the situation, it'll give you a roadmap for how to move forward and possibly give you some perspective. Doing so will help to improve your confidence and strengthen your resolve to stand up for yourself. Does she seem remorseful? You mentioned she wants to start therapy again. Do you feel like she truly wants that and is regretful and remorseful for her actions? Or does it feel more like a concession on her part just to make you feel better? Because the difference between those matters. She did seem remorseful. She immediately started counseling, got rid of all social media, told him she would no longer be traveling for work and a few other little things. The issue is the lying and deception. Also, she still works for him. All issues I am struggling with. Takes a lot to lie, but to lie multiple times just means it's her character. She is remorseful. She asked for therapy. She told him no more trips, after you told that guy that you'll be telling his wife. This is a food for thought. If she doesn't leave her job and blocks him, there are still chances that they might be trying to act normal to get you off their back. Dude, you need to let her go. My divorce lifted the weight off my back, and I just felt lighter. Do it, get into therapy for you, and stick to those boundaries. It's all you have left. She isn't remorseful. You don't do something, get caught and say sorry but continue to do it. Like she said, she wears the pants and it's looking obvious she thinks you won't do anything so she can keep having her fun. Let her wear the pants, she can wear the pants and deal with getting pumped and dumped for the next 5+ years. Very few guys want relationships with divorced single moms who cheated. Yeah man, that's tough. It's great that she's made all of those concessions. But you're right, to lie so easily about so much after already being caught once is concerning. Does she have Reddit? Perhaps she should spend time on one of the wayward subs. It might give her a better understanding of what she has been doing and what she's done to you/your trust. I know other wandering spouses have found it to be a great resource for gaining a better perspective. Look up the Chump Lady, Real versus Imitation Remorse to understand how your wife should be behaving after getting caught in, at the very least, compromising position. Add to all her bullshit is the total lack of respect she has for you during these work trips and how she treats you in return. From what you post, you don't have a hell of a lot to work with here. Best advice is to get a lawyer and get the process started. It can be stopped at any time, but at the very least you will be ahead of the game if/when things go further south. Best of luck. Why don't you divorce? Your wife likes to have drunk sex, lets her get more uninhibited. It really sounds like you could benefit from speaking with a professional about why you cannot act accordingly to your wife cheating on you and exhibiting an extraordinarily ugly level of disrespect to you. You read the text, that weren't deleted, and you have first-hand testimony to her acting in a completely disrespectful manner indicating extramarital sexual activities, and yet you still cannot act on this information. Why? Ask yourself the hard question about what you are trying to accomplish with a second polygraph. You don't need one to know she cheated on you and then cheated more after you knew she cheated. Get yourself some help to overcome your resistance to view what is really happening here. Getting actual video of them having sex is usually not an option, and you have all the evidence you need to believe it has and is happening without having to watch a video of them in the act. Why the hell would they have connecting rooms? You've already caught her lying. She actually confessed to that aspect of it right away. Which was odd. But it didn't matter because she continued with saying what she said that night and the following. But she was not going to tell you this. She would have called you and said, "Hi honey, I am so tired, love you, going to bed," then would have entered his room. Cheaters will cheat. I am sorry she feels so little about you and your marriage. Yes. She basically did this. My guy stood outside their rooms and listened with a device just for that. He never heard the door open or shut from inside. They could have just been very quiet. Who knows? Oh boy, so sorry she is doing this to you. I hope it all works out. I think based on the info you have received on this thread, you, unfortunately, know what to do. The guy who owns the company has the cash, she is blinded by this and the attention. Yeah, it's all weird. He is much older than her and unattractive. I am younger and fit and successful myself. So none of it adds up. It's because you are doing the whole pick-me dance and she does not respect you even a little bit. Like she says she wears the pants and she's right. You keep proving her right. FYI, you can easily cheat on a polygraph test. Those results mean shit. And you need to wake up and stop being a doormat. You just said so, you are younger, fit and successful, so why are you taking all of their shit? You just keep throwing tantrums whenever you find her lying but don't actually do anything about it. This is why she doesn't respect you. Well, it should never get to the level, but it does. The only consequence he can implement is divorce, which is dandy, but can be expensive. To be clear, I believe Op should be divorcing her. Without infidelity laws on the books, there's little else that can be done. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.